find yourself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on. So Nurov in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Hayes deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the down pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike could have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
On to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching the Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there as they're really bunching up now.
haven't got it! He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good afternoon and welcome to the Radical World Series Finals live from the Nords. I'm James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined in the booth very shortly by the one that Mr. Daan Pepels here as well. But what an epic season it's been, and now we are at the finals as we bring together the top 10 from the Americas Series and the top 15 for the Europeans for a straight shootout across two epic circuits here. We start off with the Nordschleife. The qualifying will be 10 minutes or one lap, then a 30-minute or four-lap race here. We will then take a short intermission and we will go on to Interlagos, where we will go into practice first. They will have time to practice the circuit before we go into 4 laps quali and a 30-minute race. Now, as we know, the European champion is Tim Bertie. He is in the session fighting it out for the overalls. In the AMS, it is Stephen Place. Unfortunately, I cannot see Stephen currently in the session, so he will not be here. The point scoring for today will be spread across the 2 races. They will get 30 points for the win, and then they will have down in increments of 1 all the way down to 30th place, so 29, 28, 27, and so on down to 30th. Now, we have currently got 20 cars on track fighting it out, waiting at this moment in time for what has become an absolutely incredible series in the Americas. Stephen Place was your champion. Diego Zuccarelli was second. Scott Callahan rounds out the third. The people that are qualified for the finals: Stephen Place, Diego Zuccarelli, Scott Callahan, Emmanuel Solorzano, Joel Jacklin, Diego Schnechter, Lucas Vieira, Jean Mercada, Charles Krasick, and Arturus Kundelis. In the Europeans, it was Tim Bertie who took the win with Mike Bousson in second, Adam Isaacson in third. Them 3 are in the final. Then we've got Jürgen Frank, Rudolf Nagel, Arturus Kundelis, Stephen Place, Dennis Kiriakopoulos, Jason Duckworth, John McHutchinson, George Gonzaga, Guy Robinson, Ewan Bramer, Stefan Mellis, and Rafael Blanco. They round out the whole top 15 of qualifying, the drivers that have qualified for this final. And what a final it is going to be currently at the moment in time. As you can see, the interval gaps currently at the moment here as well, and it is Arturus Kundelis who starts us off with a lap time of around about 6 minutes 20.36 here. The fastest man currently on circuit and is doing an absolutely stellar job. He's putting his name into the hat. We will have updated standings as we go into race 2, so we will be able to bring you up and show you what the current championship position is currently at the moment as well. But I think you've listened to me ramble on long enough. Let's bring in Daan Pepels for this final. Dan, welcome in.
Welcome everyone. Hi James. Yeah, delighted to be here. A familiar face, let's be honest, this season with the Radical Americas and the Europes. So great that I can be here at the season finals too. I have to say, what a track to start us off. Not too long ago now, in real life and in iRacing, the Nürburgring 24 hours held here, and it just lights up a spark every time you look at a car going around this track. It doesn't matter if you're a racing fan or not. If a car at speed is thrashing around this track, it always produces a spark. And well, great and delighted to be here, and what a track to open.
Yeah, definitely here as well. 154 corners of this Nordschleife circuit as well. If you've not driven the Nordschleife circuit on iRacing, I would definitely recommend it. Go out and grab a car. Doesn't really matter which one you grab. Maybe not the W12 or the W13. That might be a little bit too fast. But grab a Radical, for instance, the SR8 or the SR10, and go hurtling around the Nords circuit as well. So we're going to welcome in a few people into the chat already. Ewan Bramer is in. Much love. Thank you so much for joining us. CJMSA Racing Network, thank you so much for coming in as well. And C Mason 87. Hey, that's me, he said as well on the intro video there as well. So welcome in. Thank you so much for coming in to join us for this 2-race final, live from Nords, live from Interlagos as well. What are we going to be looking out for at Nords, Dan? It's not your most favoured overtaking track, shall we say, because there isn't really many places to be able to do that. But never say never in a Radical SR8.
Now, I do have to say, this track is so technical, so difficult, and I don't think I have to say that. You can see it by the drivers out on track. Usually, gaps here a lot bigger than at other tracks because the lap is so long. The length of the track, 22.8 kilometers. That is about 4-5 normal tracks all in one. And they complete that in about 6 minutes, 19 seconds, 852 thousandths of a second if you are Jürgen Frank. This man, though, James, whenever he takes part, he seems to just smash the opposition. He did it in Europe's, of course, only one man other than this man, Jürgen Frank, and the Swede Adam Isaacson were able to win in the Europes. It was Adam Isaacson and Jürgen Frank who were trading victories throughout the whole season, but the last round, neither of the two were there. So, Tim Bertie who took victory, but Jürgen Frank and Adam Isaacson, keep an eye out for them because they are very quick.
Yeah, definitely. I think that shows in their stats, to be fair, with Adam Isaacson's 5 wins, average start position is second, his average finishing position was first, and Jürgen Frank was obviously 4 wins, average start position first, but he had a lower average finish down in 4th. And then Tim Bertie had an average start of 3rd, his average finish was 2nd, and he took 1 win. So the 10-race calendar was split between Isaacson, Frank and Bertie here in the Europeans as well. So it's going to be an interesting one. I think it's a shame that Stephen Place can't join us. He says, I'm going to have to miss the first race. I will see you in Interlagos. So we hopefully will see Stephen there as well. Some of the stats from the Americas currently at the moment, believe it or not, Stephen Place took the championship. I'm on the understanding he never actually won a race at all.
Nope.
Greg Seats and Lucas Vieira were your 5 race winner for Greg, 3 race winner for Lucas Vieira. So a champion never winning a race is not unheard of, but it's not usual for that to happen as well. So it's definitely a stunning achievement by Stephen Place, who took the championship without actually winning a race.
Tim Bertie, let's be honest, James, would have done the same. I think if either Adam Isaacson or Jürgen Frank would have been at the last race of the season at Imola. If you did miss it, you can watch it back on the JP Broadcasting YouTube channel. Go and have a look back at the whole season. What a season we've had. I have to say, we started it off with a great track at Sandford, then went to Sebring, then went to Barber Motorsports Park, Watkins Glen Boot, and that is also the race where Jürgen Frank struggled. That is also what brought his average finishing position down to 4th. That was over 4 rounds. We had 10 in total. After that, we went to the beautiful track of VIR. Then we had Daytona Road Course, where we saw in the Europes and in the Americas some amazing strategy play by different drivers. Because it's a track where you can save so much fuel. Amazing race. Go watch it back. Absolutely amazing. 90 minutes of fuel saving, of tactics. And to try and keep up with that was quite a lot. Then round 7 was at Suzuka. What a track that is, just to race out with any car. Then we went to Spa-Francorchamps. The second to last round was at Bathurst. Down under we went. And we came back up to Imola. So a great season we've had, a great calendar. And it has all come down to this. This is what they have been fighting for the whole season.
Yeah, they definitely have. This is what that qualification was for. They wanted to take the overall championship, which they did manage to do, and now they get to qualify for the World Finals to become the overall World Finals. So unbelievable there as well from these guys, and this race is going to be absolutely epic, and one that I am looking forward to. Don't forget, guys, coming up later on the JBB YouTube channel, we've got the P-Cup round 12 from Long Beach, the IGP round 12 from Silverstone, and the Tanzo GR86 League as well is all coming up for you today. Plus, we've got the Triple B Bypass Racing final as well and coming up as well. So all videos are on the JBB YouTube channel. You can tune in for that one. We have had confirmation that the race series again will start on the 25th of June for the Radicals. That's what the date we're looking at currently at the moment. So pencil that in your diary for Europeans to start. And the Americans, there's also doing an SR8 championship, will start on the 26th of June. And the Americans will be in the morning of the 27th, depending on obviously where you are. If it is the American, if you are an American, then it's going to be like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the evening. But 2 championships to get yourselves involved with. All links down in the description below. You can come and join on that one. Don't forget, JBB have also got the BDLV, Big Dreams Little Voices charity event coming back, where we're raising money for the Rainbow Trust. June the 11th, next Sunday, 6 hours of Watkins Glen as well. Links down in the description. JBB Leagues Discord. You can get yourselves involved. Come and join and come and do some GT3s or TCRs for 6 hours around Watkins Glen with children in the commentary booth. So that is going to be a very interesting one, as we found out from the last 3 hours of Spa, and some of the interesting questions along the lines of how do you rate your teammate out of 10? So there we go, which was posted to one of the drivers when him and his teammate were in the booth. But we have gone into qualifying. Jürgen Frank currently we are on board with from the SimRC Beethoven team. They took the team championship as well, with Team Badline being the runners up here. So it's going to be an exciting one, and well, one that we're looking forward to, and it should be absolutely amazing.
For sure. We're on board at the moment with Jürgen Frank. And this is an interesting one, James. 10 minutes around this track. You're only going to get one shot at it with how long this track is. So it needs to be absolutely perfect. This can make or break your finals, basically. So disqualifying is what it all depends on. And you can see Jürgen Frank, like I said, purple sector 1, purple sector 3, purple sector 2, however, for Arturis Kondelis, who was there sometimes in the Europes, but mostly was there in the Americas. Someone who, towards the end of the season, really came alive. That purple sector now been taken once again by Arturis Kondelis in sector number 3. He at the moment is just coming through. Dreifach down the hill.
Some very fast times on the board currently at the moment. Now, I've just been standing correctly there as well. It's not the Radical World Finals, it's the Radical Season Finals. So that's what I've just been told. So my bad, is the Radical Season Finals. Okay, so there we go. Apologies if anyone got confused that we're at the World Finals. It is apparently the Season Final. So there you go, of this season.
Track, James. I mean, we're looking on board with Arturis Kondelis in the helmet cam, and this is what the driver sees. Now, of course, we've had a shot in almost every car. You can go into other sims, you can go into mods, you can go with every car around this track, basically. But the quicker the car gets, the quicker you have to think. We did it in a GT3. Now, Ghost lap in about 8:20, 8:15, depending on how quick you are. The Beast lap in about 6:19. Of course, we do not get the Grand Prix Strecker, so that's a considerable amount of time that you take off the GT3s. But so much quicker, so much more downforce than a GT3. And everything just comes up a lot quicker. How do you think the drivers will cope with that?
Well, to be honest, I don't know if you've ever driven the SR8 round here. I have driven the SR8 round Nords, and I've driven the SR10 as well. You know, the difference with the SR8 currently is you're looking at that it's got a lot of horsepower and weighs barely nothing. And that's the thing with the car itself. You know, knocking out so much horsepower, 380 horsepower, and it weighs barely, basically 1,320 pounds. 2.6 litre V8 and a rev limit of 10,500 revs. It's basically glorified go-karting with a body kit, and that is it. You know what I mean? So, you know, and it is so quick. I think that's the thing. They're not lugging the weight around of a GT3. You're not lugging the weight around of a TCR. You know, you are literally close to the floor, lightweight. We've seen these cars damaged models. They are literally practically at times like cardboard, and they do just deteriorate if they hit the wall. Now, don't forget, these guys have got one fast repair, but the difference is the fast repair at Interlagos and the tow at Interlagos is probably a couple of minutes. The tow at Nords is probably 9. So you're going to miss a big chunk of lap time, partly because if you do make a mistake and end up in the wall. And I think that's the difference with it, Dan. It's so light because of what it's got behind it engine-wise, and that is what causes the problem for them. They just cannot. It's just too far. It's such a quick car.
Yeah, and I think, of course, the SR10 a bit less so, as Jürgen Frank has successfully made it through the Nordschleife. Now on to that long straight, the Dottinger. This straight is so agonizingly long. And then going down the Tiergarten. I mean, there is no corner on the calendar that we've had this season that is more satisfying to get right than Tiergarten. Here you go, down the hill, through Hohenheim. This corner is so satisfying if you do get it right, if you do get it hooked up. Jürgen Frank is surely going to pop in the quickest time. He's going to set the benchmark. What is that benchmark going to be, though? There we go, 6:22.123. That's what you have to beat, James.
Yeah, there's going to be some interesting, but more times everybody's practically at the same part of the circuit, so we can show you some of them coming across the line. But poor old Dan there, Commentators has got a couple of purples as well. It might be worth picking up him on to see where he goes. He's gone into second under 6:22.25. Diego Zuccarelli, Daniele Cascado, Mino de Graaf, they're all coming across the line. Lucas Vieira and Dennis Kiriakopoulos. Dennis Kiriakopoulos is in the couple of final sectors here, and once again, he's setting it alight. John McHutchinson, the Scotsman, of course, would be well known. Stefan Mellis is going to be coming to the end of his lap. And currently there is Dennis Kiriakopoulos coming down the Dottinger. It's a long run down, of course. It's huge. That straight is longer than my high street. I can tell you that much here as well. My whole town would probably fit inside the Nordschleife. I'm not going to lie, because it's not very big. You know, we all know that. John McHutchinson is going to be very close to possibly not getting a lap here, because he's still got 1:39 on the clock, and we'll just pick him up and find out where he is on track currently at the moment.
Oh, James.
So if we can have a look.
Kiriakopoulos, I think, had an off track in the last corner of the track. To get it right at any corner, the last corner must be the most frustrating. Onto the Dottinger goes John McHutchinson, but that is devastating for Kiriakopoulos, and that'll mean that he will start towards the back of the field. Now, you can see on the left-hand side, Gonzaga, McHutchinson, Mellis, Kiriakopoulos. Those drivers are still out. However, only Mellis, or Gonzaga and McHutchinson, excuse me, who can set the lap time. Gonzaga has gone back into pit lane. It's only McHutchinson who can set the lap time here. But the rest everyone has already done.
Yeah, it's not going to be able to, nobody else can get a lap time in as well. It's going to be McHutchinson running around Tiergarten now, coming into the final few corners. You're going to have the left-hander, you're going to be start breaking down, then we're going to go right here once more, then left, and then right, and the line is literally at the beginning of this part here. What is McHutchinson going to do? He's going to be third on a 6:22.887. There are a few cars out on track. They're not going to be able to make it to this line, unfortunately. So the couple of cars on track, Joel Jacqueline, Rafael Blanco, Stefan Mellis, and Mateus Moraes. So there we go. It's going to be an incredible one. So let's see how this all pans out, but we'll bring you up the grid very, very shortly. Jürgen Frank is in first. Arturus Candelis in second. John McHutchinson third. Adam Isaacson is down in fourth. Ewan Bramer fifth. Manuel Solorzano in sixth. Ewan Bramer, Mike Buson seventh. Diego Zuccarelli eighth. Johnny Hamby ninth. Joel Jacklin 10th. Daniele Casado in 11th. Mino de Graaf is in 12th. Guy Robinson 13th. Alexander Roggenbuck in 14th. Tim Bertie 15th. Rafael Blanco 16th, Lucas Ferreira 17th, Dennis Kiriakopoulos 18th, Mateus Moraes 19th, George Gonzaga 20th, Diego Schneider 21st, Jason Duckworth 22nd, and Stefan Mellis down in 23rd. Timo Berti only down in 15th place. Let's see how this one goes for him. He's going to have to try and start fighting his way back through here to have any chance of scoring some decent points in the first race, of course. And the points are 30 down to 1. So every driver should score points, with Stefan Mellis being the last driver if he stays where he is. Currently on track in 23rd position and will score 8 points. So we'll keep an eye on the standings as we go along. But the lights should be coming up very, very shortly. And we'll be able to get underway here as well. John McHutchinson, Adam Isaacson, Mike Buson, Alexander Roggenbuck, Rafael Blanco and Dennis Kiriakopoulos are still waiting there as well. P3 for McHutchinson, absolutely. John McHutchinson there in P3. Right, everybody's on the grid. We can wait for the overlay to come up on the screen, ready to go. So, here are the lights. 3, 4, 5. Here we go, and we are underway for the first race of the season. And it's Jürgen Frank out in front with Candelis has got into second. Isaacson has gone past McHutchinson. Oh, there's been a big incident at the back. Moraes is off. Bramer's involved as well. And it's all going off further back in the order. Manuel Solorzano is there. Joel Jacklin is there. George Gonzaga, Rafael Blanco, Stefan Mellis. All involved in this one. Dennis Kiriakopoulos, Ewan Bramer, and a big old crash, and Mike Buson all involved right out at the beginning. Diego Schneider is currently sitting down in 10th place. There is gaps appeared already. Bramer, Solorzano, Buson, Jackman, Blanco and Vieira all in the pits on the opening lap of this racetrack here at the Nords Drive as well. I would say everyone got clean there, but with 6 people in the pits already, Dan, definitely not.
Honestly, James, you would ask me what happened there, I would have to say I don't know, because there was so much going on at one moment. There are people with damage further back, and I think at least half of the field was involved in it. It started, I'm sure, with Ewan Bremer. We're looking at the battle though for P1, 2 and 3. These are the drivers that we expected to be fighting it out at the front of the field. Candelis, Isaacson and Jürgen Frank. Jürgen Frank leading the way, as he has done so many times in the season. But now is when it really does matter.
Yeah, definitely is here, battling away with Candelis. There's also Tim Bertie, who is up 7 places already. Stefan Mellis is up 11. But it is these guys fighting it out here on this tricky racetrack once more. Are there going to be passing opportunities? Are they going to be involved? Well, we've got currently Mike Buson is out, I believe. He is out, and we've still got 5 people in the pits. We know that the tow time is going to be a very long one here. We're having a look back at the start. We'll pick up on Ewan Bramer. He got away off the line nice and cleanly. Goes round turn 1. And I got a funny feeling, McHutchinson got loose. He sent McHutchinson in the air. Buson was involved. And then everybody else comes strewn through. And that, my dear, is how not to perceive the start of a race. Unfortunately, McHutchinson got loose. Bramer hit the brakes. And then, unfortunately, all just Constantina behind him, and then everybody else got riding straight through there as well. So that is, unfortunately, what happened at the beginning. The gap up front is 6 tenths from Frank to Isaacson currently at the moment, and Schneider is tucked down in 10th as well, 3 tenths back on that one. So, yeah, not a great start there for some drivers.
No, not at all. And like I said, it started there with Ewan Bremer. I don't think anyone could do a lot about that, as we've got a tree in the way. Can't see a lot, thank you, tree. Jürgen Frank still leading the way, 5 tenths ahead of Adam of Arturus Gundelis, then another 5/10 to Adam Isaacson. But James, to be leading now, the only point where you need to be leading and where you want to take the risks is probably on that last lap when it all counts. And I have a feeling that Gundelis at the moment is not going to go for anything ridiculous on Jürgen Frank. This race estimated to take about 25 minutes with the lap times that we've got. 4 laps in total, 4 times 6 minutes 20. There you go. How you got your time?
Yeah. There we go. So it's going to be an interesting one. As I say, I don't think there's going to be a move until the very last lap down the Dottenhoe, because let's face it, if you make it there, you're probably going to get overtaken on the next one. So let's see what these guys will do. 4 cars over. I missed one. Yeah, they definitely did there. Boosting out already. He is, unfortunately for him, Mike Bouson's race lasted all of about a turn, and through he went, and then everybody else just come piling through. Not an ideal start to these finals here as well, but we do have Interlagos next. So that's something to look forward to. One that's going to be a definite different kind of race here as well. I love it, Interlagos. So this is going to be absolutely amazing. But we're here at the Nords with Jürgen Frank. Dennis Kiriakopoulos is side by side currently at the moment with Stefan Mellers. We're going to keep an eye on that one, as Stefan Mellers is just lost that place to Kiriakopoulos as well. And Kiriakopoulos is through for the MK Racing team and is now up into 12th. He has got 3.4 second gain with George Gonzaga. Here is the overtake, slips it up the inside. Stefan Mellers lets him through. Job done for there. No point defending. Diego Zuccarelli, the Canadian, is also in a nice little tidy close currently at the moment. So stay tuned on that one. We'll keep an eye on Zuccarelli at the same time as Kiriakopoulos opens up his 1.4 second gap here, and away he goes. But back up front, Jürgen Frank, Arturus Gundelis and Isaacson all battling away here as well. Timber, he's made another position. He's now up into 7th place. He's past Cascado and is now up into 7th with John McCutcheon chasing away here with 3/10 gap currently at the moment. So all go here. Would you jump into my grave as quick, James? Probably. Needs must. Can't help it. So there we go. But yeah, Dan, it's definitely been an interesting opening.
I think interesting is a big understatement, because the amount of action that we've had, not all good. Let's be honest about that. That start was not the finest we've seen this season, but then also the most difficult track we've been to this season to do start at. They're now going to come around to complete their first lap. I do have a question for you going into this second lap, James. Which corner on the track is your favorite corner?
Favorite corner? You've got to be looking going, there's 2. So you'd be looking at going down into Arenberg. I just love the fact that you go over a hill and then just drop straight, plummet down into the corner. You've got to get it stopped and go round there, otherwise it's going to be grass and gravel at the end of it. So that corner is tricky. And also Carousel, you can see lose so much time in. So you've got to be able to get that corner right as well, because others are considerably difficult at the same time. But I think for me, Arenberg and down into the Carousel.
With Swetchenkreuz, the left-hander. Also a little bit of a hill before you plummet down again into Arenberg. But Swetchenkreuz, the left-hander before Arenberg, I mean, so on edge in every car. A little bit less so in these cars, but yeah, a corner that you really have to commit through. And committing is Tim Bertie, is on the back of Zuccarelli at the minute. Zuccarelli himself is on the back of Hamby. Bertie's got through. Zuccarelli is bailed out of it. That has promoted Tim Bertie, the regular season champion in Europe, up into P7.
Seen it there go through. Timber is making his way through the field quite nicely, of course, and is doing the current stellar job at the moment as he goes past Hamby as well. Hamby just lets him take the position, but he's now got 6.1 seconds up to McCutcheon which is going to be a tall order currently at the moment as well. Not too sure why Mateus Moraes has all of a sudden jumped to the top of the timing style there. He is out, unfortunately for him. So there we go. But here's Jurgen Frank, Arturos Candelis, and Adam Isaacson with Gonzaga fighting away with Graft currently at the moment as well. So it's going to be an absolutely incredible one here. And not long now, they're nearly coming in to near what will be the final lap of the race. So one that's going to be definitely exciting.
For sure. Now, it is not Moraes who's leading at the moment. He's gone back into pit lane. Something has happened to him. And we'll have a look back to see if we can find what happened. But at the moment, it just seems like it has been a straight disconnect for Mateus Moraes, which would be very sad for him in these finals.
Yeah, let's just see how this one pans out. Diego Zuccarelli is still fighting away here as well, as we're going to be looking at trying to come out from behind the trees here at the Nords. But it is Zuccarelli. Yeah, there's loads of them currently. Zuccarelli is right behind Hamby at the moment. So there he is on your screen at the moment. And as they go round the trees now and out the other side, and it is going to be Zuccarelli chasing down Schneider here. Is it going to be impossible for him to get past, you think? It's going to be a difficult one.
It's not impossible, let's be honest. We've seen some drivers overtake already, and if there's one man who can overtake, it is Diego Zuccarelli. However, it is a difficult track to overtake on, but Diego Zuccarelli, like I just said, is one who can overtake and does overtake when he needs to. Goes past Hamby, and he's now back down into P8, still up one from where he started, but not in the P6 that he was in just a few moments ago.
Yeah, definitely there as well. Zuccarelli is up one place, Hamby's up one. Biggest gainer so far is Diego Schneider, currently up 12. It is not Moraes at the top of your time in town, let's just say that as well. And where he's just disconnected, it's put him straight into the front. By Buson, cracking, he says in chat, as he lasted all of one corner. So unfortunately for Buson there, not an ideal scenario, but it is what it is. Isaacson is now really close. He's literally fighting away with McHutchinson here as well. If we can pick up on... Oh, no! He's off! He's up, he's up, he's off. Unfortunately for Isaacson, that is going to be game over.
Now watch out, because that car is grabbing. That car is grabbing. He needs to get out of the way of anyone who is coming up behind him.
Yeah, not a great view. We jump on board with him and see what he's trying to wrestle with here as well for Isaacson. There we go.
Look at that steering wheel. Yeah, no. He's going to go straight into pit lane and take a fast repair, I would say.
Yeah, I don't think he's got much of an option now, unfortunately for him. He's got to get it back though, because he needs to get that fast repaired, needs to be able to get out and score as much points as possible in this first race. Jürgen Frank has still got Candelis behind him. Isaacson is being closed on by Schneider. I bet Schneider's absolutely sitting in the car thinking, oh my dearie me.
Not the fastest part of the track.
Does it? Schneider's through. Take your opportunities when you get them. Take your opportunities.
Isaacson, I think that opportunity provided itself for Schneider, because Isaacson has gone round again.
McHutchinson's crashed. McHutchinson has crashed as well.
I have a feeling that this is coming out of the carousel.
Yeah, we'll have a look back at that one.
Just jumping out of the carousel, is it not?
No, he's coming into what is obviously depends what you call it, the mini carousel. He's popped out and spun it round. And unfortunately for McHutchinson, no, he's trying to get it out as we've got him behind a tree currently at the moment.
Damage at least.
Yeah, no damage. So there we go from McHutchinson as we go back to live pictures. He's now closing down on 6th place. Jonathan Hamby. Jürgen Frank has got Candelis right up behind him as well. There is Candelis. Final lap of the race, 6:20.771. Fastest man on track currently at the moment here. And it's going to be an exciting one, I think, as they go. I'd be surprised if he makes this move apart from anywhere else down the dotting hole on the last run. There's just no point in him trying to make it anywhere else.
Well, The problem is, if he does, Jürgen Frank, with how smart the German driver has been driving this season, he just slipstrings back past on the Dottinger Höhe. So there is no way that Arturis Cordelis is not going to be smart enough here to stay behind and overtake once he needs to overtake.
He can make the move if he really wanted to now, but from his point of view, there's no point.
It's not smart.
No, it's just not. There's no point in him trying to. He might as well sit behind him, stay as close as he can, and then go down the Dottinger. That's it. That's literally the place he might as well have a go, because there's just no point in him trying to do it anywhere else. It's, just pointless from his point of view. Is the leaderboard glitch, or did Moraes actually break away 4.5 minutes? No, there is a glitch. We will try and refresh it and see if that corrects it. Oh, McCutcheon dives up the inside of Arenberg. Job done for John McCutcheon, and as you can see, it hasn't worked. Got a funny feeling Moraes may have jumped back to the pits, and that's where the initial problem is. Rafael Blanco has crashed and gone back into the pits as well. Stefan Mellis is another man that's also in the pits here. So Stefan Mellis jumping to the pits as well. So, but Jürgen Frank is once again in first place.
Well, not the first time this season, and he's so familiar to being there and defending that position that, you know, he himself with the R rating, he's just such an experienced driver. He knows how to handle these situations. As McCutcheon has just made his way past Hamby, like you said, up into P5, trying to gain back some position that he lost.
He's trying to come back through here as well. The leaders are coming up to the Bergwick currently at the moment. So he is coming up to Bergwick. He's got about half a lap left. So let's see how he gets on here as well, as he's going to be still chasing down Mukundales. Kirakopoulos as well in the battle in 10th place currently at the moment, with Guy Robinson in front of him and Duckworth behind him. Isaacson's just made the move past Duckworth, mind you, and has just gone past him currently at the moment. So let's see what happens here with half a lap left, and see what goes on once more here as well.
And fast repair, luckily for Adam Isaacson, was there. Else, let's be honest, with damage like that, you would have been out of the running for this race, because with that amount of damage, you're not going to fix that within the amount of time that you have. Arturis Cordelis is now all over the back of Jürgen Frank. Not the first time that he has found himself at the front, chasing someone down. However, it doesn't matter who is ahead of you. Arturis Cordelis treats everyone the same. Through the carousel they go to the second to, well, for the second to the last time. Arturis Cordelis, I have a feeling it's going to do this, like you said, going on to the
Yeah, it will be. That's where his move will be. Guy Robinson has been off track. Dennis Kirakopoulos has also had an issue here as well. So there's been a few people out and had a few problems, along with Isaacson, along with McCutcheon, along with Moraes as well, along with Mellis, Blanco. They've all been involved here at Nords, and it's all been a difficult situation for these guys. Jonathan Hamby.
Oh no.
Oh!
No. That is Guy Robertson, I think.
Yeah, Guy Robertson onto the grass.
Slips
onto the grass. And unfortunately just comes back across track and hits Kiriakopoulos. So there we go. And that is what Kiriakopoulos saw going upside down, which was nice for everyone at home. So here we go. Once more we go into the breach, coming down through now the last part of this circuit, Dan. Dotting ho through and through, isn't it?
To make a pass would be smart, however, you don't know how they're going to go about it, because there is still another one to go. He could technically just do it on the last lap and still stick behind, because I have a feeling once Arturis Cordelis is going to get past, can still be chased down by Jürgen Frank, and now that Jürgen Frank has a bit of a gap, I don't exactly know, James, if he's going to be able to get past.
Yeah, well, the draft is so strong, it's weaving across the track there as well. I'm surprised he hasn't just slipped right in, back in behind him again, which is what would I expect him to do. He's going to allow Frank to go across. They're going to be coming under the Bilston Bridge shortly here as well. So let's see how this one pans out here. It's going to be a tough one, I think.
For sure. Not the easiest one, however, with that slipstream you can kind of build up a run, but I don't think Gundelis is going to go for it. Like I said, he's going to wait one more time. Through Tegarten, up the hill we go once again. And onto the last lap of the race. Like I said, Arturus Gundelis sticking behind once more. And I have a feeling he's going to do it on the Dottingerhöhe this lap.
It's going to be the only time he's going to get. Zuccarelli is right in the battle. Currently at the moment, he's just gone past Hamby. Has Zuccarelli, that's coming down the Dottingerhöhe, I believe, as well. Zuccarelli and Hamby have just swapped positions. Jürgen Frank has now got Gundelis right behind him, and basically he's sitting there dreading what is going to happen here, because he knows he's going to come, and there's only one place he can come, and that is it. So let's see how he gets on once more, and see how he goes here again. But we know where it's going to happen. We know where it's going to, basically he's going to make that overtake. So it's going to be an interesting one. Gonzaga's just gone past Duckworth, and now we're back again here. It's just going to sit there.
Going into Schwetzenkreuz, that left-hander that I said so committed, can't see the exit, and then into your favorite corner, Arenberg. This downhill corner, so much understeer that you usually get here. However, these SR8 so planted to the ground, you don't really feel or don't really see any visible understeer. The drivers will be feeling it. Not any visible understeer. Then up the hill through Adenauer. That is a tricky corner too, because you can't see your turning point really. You can't see the inside apex. You can't see the apex curve.
No, and so many times if you end up bouncing that curve on the way in as well, you're going to be in deep trouble. So yeah, they want to try and stay away from that one here as well. As the drivers down in Joel Jacklin and Manuel Solazano, 15th and 16th, of course, were involved in that turn one incident, been into the pits, been repaired and back out. Kramer is out, Blanca's out, Vieira's out, Mellis is in the pits, Robinson's in the pits, Kiriakopoulos is in the pits, after they had their own coming together as well. When Robinson hit the grass, the car snapped back in front of Kiriakopoulos, and he literally had nowhere to go here, literally nowhere, and unfortunately was careered off there as well. Bill Lockup from Jürgen Frank from the SimRC Beethoven team, with Arturus Gundelis behind him currently at the moment. The thing is, you just know, and we know, that he's not going to physically make a move. Like, it is all about Frank trying to open the gap, and it just doesn't look like he's going to be able to get that.
No, it's especially with the longer straights that we call them. They're not really straights. You don't really have straights on the road driver except the Dottingerhöhe. But full throttle zones where slipstream is so useful, and Arturus Gundelis is using it to his full ability. You can sometimes see that gap grow to about 0.6 of a second, but then a minute further on, the gap is back down to about 0.07 of a second. Gundelis have a feeling we're hyping it up a bit too much here, because he's not going to go for anything. We know, just as well as Gundelis knows, he's going to stay behind.
Yeah, he definitely is. Unless Frank makes a drastic mistake and allows him through, I don't think there's going to be any form of move at all. He's just going to sit there and wait to that final straight as well. So there we go. That's basically how this one's going to be coming down to. There isn't going to be any different maneuvers. Everybody else is quite spread out through the rest of the circuits. These guys come through the carousel for the final time here before we move on to Interlagos, which is going to be a different perspective altogether here.
For sure, a completely different track, and something I'm looking forward to, because Interlagos always provides with some great racing. more overtaking opportunities than you have here at the Nordschleife, but the track in itself just as legendary as this one. Daly's sucked up on the gearbox of Jürgen Frank. And I would say, James, that there's only one thing that can hold Condelis from an overtake with her. That is Condelis himself.
Yeah, definitely. It's any mistakes he's got at the moment. He needs to close that 7/10 gap up, mind you. He's going to be a bit too far back currently as well, going on to that straight. He needs to close it up. They are coming down now. They're going to drop down into the dip and then go down the right-hander up the little incline. Up they go, round into the right-hander, go left, and they're going to start dropping down once more here as well. Hug the left-hand side because there is a little bump only further out than that. Fastest part of the circuit, they're going to kind of straight line it as much as they possibly can, and through they go. They're going to be looking on the left-hand side for their brake marker, onto the brakes, down into 5th, wrapping it up, down 4th. Round the left-hander they go, down 3rd, trying to get an exit out at the moment. I was surprised that Condelis didn't go down into 3rd earlier. Come around the mini carousel, 6/10. I don't know if he's going to make this. I'm not going to lie.
Well, we're going to see now, because in just 2 seconds' time, Jürgen Frank is going to see that long straight ahead of him. The only challenge that he is facing. He's swerving left to right. You have to stay there now. You can't do this. He's swerving left, right, and centre, Jürgen Frank. A bit of a naughty boy at the moment.
Yeah, he's practically weaving a jumper. He's swerved that amount of times.
And it's still not helping.
Once would be enough. He's only to be doing this multiple. Here comes Condelis. It's time over. He is going to go through. I'll be very surprised here if Frank does manage to get it back. Going down into the last part now, down into Tiergarten. Condelis is going to know where to push his car. He knows where he's going to position that car. They're going to try and go side by side. Frank's going to be looking up the inside round Tiergarten. They go. He's got to keep it tight. Just park it on the entry. Park it. The line is literally just there. It's going to be Condelis. Condelis is through, and he does take the victory in the first one there as well. Frank just did not have any answer whatsoever to try and even remotely stop that overtake. That weaving, like, I understand breaking the toe, but God blimey, he was weaving that many times. I could have given him a knitting needle and he would have knit me a jumper by the time he got down to the end. It was incredible. Once would have been enough, dear sir, as Bertie comes over the line in an amazing 3rd place there as well. 12 places gained from Bertie, puts him in a nice little championship position going forward. So we have got to sit and wait for the rest of the cars to finish. John McCutchinson is in 4th at the moment as well. He will take home 27 points here with Diego Schneider, Diego Zuccarelli, Johnny Hamby, all coming up behind him as well as Schneider crosses the line. Cascado, Isaacson, Duckworth will be another one. Graf and Murray. Gonzaga looks like he's just put himself out on the final lap of the race. George Gonzaga, he has done. Maybe we can have a look back and see what he has done.
Oh, George Gonzaga. So, what have you done? This George Gonzaga. Oh no, yeah, he's going to spin it, isn't he?
No, he just stops.
No.
He went off track just before that crash. You can see the Condelis on Frank pass just before that. Gonzaga went off track. He has got damage on the left-hand side of that car. His left front arch is bent in, and
he's
as you
still
can
going,
see,
though.
Yeah, straight angles. I'm not entirely sure why you would stop and look at coming back on. Don't quite understand that one, but there we go. Gonzaga is trying to finish here as well for everybody else to come over the line. Murray, Roggenbach, Kira Goblis, Robinson, Jacqueline, and Stolizano. Stolizano will be the last man, of course, and he is currently all the way up near the carousel, just come out the carousel, going into what will be the Whipperman section of this circuit here as well. Condelis wins on the last lap pass, absolutely he did there as well. Ben Knox, Stefan was hit in the back by George Gonzaga. So maybe we can have a look while we wait for the cars to finish to try and find where Stefan Mellis, there it is, at about 15, 50 and 97. Stefan Mellis apparently had a crash. So that is the situation. Maybe we can have a look and see if we can find it. Ooh, nope. Gonzaga comes up. That's not Gonzaga.
No.
That's not Gonzaga. Delivery's different.
That
Gonzaga's
is
gone past
Adam
him.
Isaacson, I think.
Yep. I don't think that was Gonzaga. Yeah, it was
Adam Isaacson.
Yeah. Isaacson there hit him. It wasn't Gonzaga at all, Ben, unfortunately, on that one, sir. But we are just waiting for the final cars to come across the line. Manuel Salazano and Joel there as well. As we go back to live pictures, going to pick up Kyriakopoulos, Robinson, and Jacqueline there. As these guys will be finishing off. Dennis Kyriakopoulos currently down in 14th place. We saw him had that incident with Guy Robinson. And there we go. A hard hit from Melissa. Okie dokie.
I mean...
Am I missing something?
I don't know. I'm sure you're not. CJ, someone who's always in chat, was very... was a big part of the Americas. Actually, CJ, we call him our walking Wikipedia because he knows so much and he sees everything for some reason. We don't know how he does it if he's in the session, but CJ, he's able to just see everything that happens on track and he can tell you exactly why and how it happens. But yeah, on that one, I'm not sure what exactly happened there.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Sorry, CJ. So, not sure.
I think he means Melis.
Melis, you reckon?
Yeah.
But I reckon that could be on a phone, and I reckon that could be autocorrect.
Yes.
So, there we go.
CJ, sir, is there someone in your family called Melissa that your phone has maybe corrected Melis to Melissa? There you go.
Yeah, right. The results are in for race 1. And here we go. So it is Taurus Candelis takes the win here by 0.116 of a second over Jurgen Frank. Timber, he makes his way up 12 places here and is in third. John McCutcheon 4th, Zuccarelli 5th, Harvey 6th, Schneider 7th, Cascado 8th, Isaacson 9th, Duckworth 10th, Gruff is in 11th, Murray down in 12th, Roggenbuck 13th, Kyriakopoulos 14th, Robinson 15th, Jacqueline is 16th, Solazano 17th, Gonzaga is 18th. Melis and Vieira, Blanco, Bramer and Buson all had incidents and are now, unfortunately, Buson didn't even get off the start. Neither did Bramer, Blanco and Vieira. All ended up coming together and it all went a little bit ping-tong for them guys there as well. Right, and that has brought us to the end of the first race. We are going to go into the second race very, very shortly, guys. But for now, we're going to jump onto a BRB screen and we'll be back very, very shortly. Okay, and welcome back now to race 2 at the Radical Sim Racing Series Finals, live from Interlagos. We've just seen Nords done and dusted, where Arturus Candelis took the victory over Jurgen Frank with Tim Bertie in 3rd and John McCutcheon in 4th. We have got the updated standings for you. We will bring them up right about now, very, very shortly. Here as well. One race remaining, CJ. Absolutely. There is one race remaining here this evening, and it is at Interlagos, an absolute epic circuit. If you haven't seen this so far, Arturus Candelis is in 1st, Jurgen Frank in 2nd, Tim Bertie 3rd, John McCutcheon there in 4th on 27 points. Diego Zuccarelli in 5th, Johnny Hamby 6th, Diego Schneider 7th, Daniele Cascado 8th, Adam Isaacson in 9th, and Jason Duckworth down in 10th. Then behind that, we've got Mino de Graaf, Mateus Moraes, Alexander Roggenbach, Dennis Kiriakopoulos, Guy Robinson, Joel Jacklin, Manuel Solazano, and then George Gonzaga. Beyond that, we've got Stefan Mellis, Iwan Bremer, Mike Buson, Rafael Blanco, Lucas Vieira, Stephen Place, Juan Moncada, and obviously Nathan Brumbury are not here this evening either. So hopefully Stephen Place, has he made race 2? That's the question. Can't currently see him in there, so no Stephen Place. Once again, you're still here with myself and James Parfitt and Daan Pepels in the booth, and we're live on the JPB and the Radical Sim Racing YouTube channel, so don't forget to give both channels a subscribe, turn on the bells, and give the video a big old thumbs up. That would be absolutely amazing. But Dan, after that epic first race there, what are we expecting from here? Because Interlagos, different kettle of fish.
Well, you've got the hardest parts out of the way now. You've got the Nordschleife done. If you have come through the Nordschleife successfully in a good position, like Tim Bertie, like Jurgen Frank, you need to be thinking about this race now. Hold up, because some people might think standings were wrong, and they were not. 30 points for both Jurgen Frank, because he got the fastest lap. Fastest lap. Excuse me, fastest lap.
Was it fastest lap, or did he get the pole position?
I think it was fastest lap.
Okay.
We can't check that one, but I'm pretty sure it was the fastest lap. If not, I stand to be corrected, of course. No, but I think indeed it was the fastest lap.
I thought Candelis got the fastest lap on a 6:22.
Yeah, pole position indeed. Mr. James Parfitt was right.
Thank you very much. There we go. It was pole position. So it is a tie at the top. And we go into Interlagos. 5 minutes left of practice at this wonderful circuit. My all-time favourite circuit. It is absolutely incredible here, and one that is going to be putting on some great racing here again. We've got 22 cars on track currently here in the session, ready to go to see who will be crowned the overall champion. So who will be crowned the overall champion here? Time will tell. Let's see what happens.
How you think it will be, because that's interesting to see. What do the people at home think after that first race? Who do they think has strongest position? Take that.
Okay, who do you think?
Well, honestly, I've got to go with Jurgen Frank, with how consistent he's been. Arturus Candelis, however, he has said that he didn't quite like the Nordschleife, so for him to finish first there, I'm a bit scared what he's going to be able to do here at Sao Paulo.
So who do you think is going to take it?
Frank, Jurgen Frank.
Okay.
I stay with Jurgen Frank, but like I said, I am a bit scared about what he can do.
Well, I reckon it's going to be a tough one, I think.
Maybe on virtue of consistency, Tim Bertie? I don't know. He was third in that race, don't forget.
Yeah, I think it's going to be either Bertie or Candelis here. Rock, paper, scissors. I'm going to go with Candelis.
There we go.
I think. I think Candelis is going to get it. Let us know in chat what you think and see there as well, because that would be absolutely amazing. Get yourselves involved. You win absolutely nothing. It's just bragging rights over me and Dan, really. That's practically about it. To say, haha, I was right, you were wrong. But, you know, we've both gone for the guys at the top of the championship. So let's see what these guys are going to be able to do.
Well,
interesting.
It's not without any background information that Frozen EC. They have just been performing in the regular season too. They've been performing here again, and they are in the strongest position with the fact that they've both got 30 points. They're tied on 30 points, so it's going to be coming down to who is going to get this pole position. If Tim Birdie is able to put that car on pole position, he would be only 1 point behind Jürgen Frank and Arturus Kondelis. So if he then wins, it goes to comeback, and then I don't know who it goes to. I have a feeling it's gonna go to Tim Bertie, because Jürgen Frank. Well, Jürgen
most
Frank,
wins.
Well, but they would be tied on points with either Kondelis or Jürgen Frank. If he's tied on points with Jürgen Frank, it's going to go to overall wins, I have a feeling. And if he's tied with Kondelis, it's going to go to pole positions. So if Bertie puts it on pole here, he's in a really strong position.
He may be, but let's see what's going to happen. Got literally a minute and a half left of practice before we go into the 4 laps of qualifying. Good evening, Callum Minham. I hope you're well. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. Mine has been a busy one already. I was off car booting it this morning. Not doing a car boot. I was walking around seeing what bargains I could pick up. And the only thing I managed to actually pick up was a £2 travel iron. So not really bargain hunting. Yeah, but, you know, I found out in Spain we clearly needed it because neither of us had an iron and the hotel didn't have any. So I picked up a £2 travel iron. That was to the extent of my Sunday. My kids had a field day, mind you. Spending Dad's money, of course. Yeah, they had a field day. One of them got a new keyboard. One of them got a new scooter helmet. So, yeah.
I mean, at least he's safe. He or she, I don't know who it was. But
It was he, Henry.
At least he's safe by buying a helmet. So, I don't know what you're mad about, actually. It's good that he has a helmet now. Is it a fancy helmet?
Well, the thing is, that was the thing, right? It was a brand new helmet.
I've got a watermelon as a helmet. You know?
Yeah, it was £50. I think £50 brand new, and it was never worn, and it was only cost me £10. So
there we go.
So it was a bit of a bargain. Yeah, it definitely was. But as I say, at least he ain't going to go and chip his watermelon open when he falls off his scooter at the skate park. So, you know.
Yeah, I've got a lovely watermelon when I do fall on my head when we do go biking. So yeah. I mean, if there's one thing to look cool, I mean, a watermelon on your head would be another thing.
Yeah, I don't know if a watermelon would be cool.
That's what you say. It's cool. I mean, having a watermelon on your head could be cool in 2 ways.
Well, it could be, but yeah, depends if you've taken the pips and the juice out, really, and whether or not it's running down your head while you're doing bicycling.
Agreed.
So there we go. Right, we are just going into qualifying now, guys, as well. Isaacson here.
I expected more from Isaacson, to be honest, but he had a rough race at the Nordschleife, really.
Well, the problem is, it's like anything, isn't it? If you're going to, you know, have an incident at Nords, you're going to be in trouble. And then if you come out of the pits and have a second incident, you're going to be in even more trouble. So I think one of the things, the main key for any of the drivers that were in Nords was finishing. But finishing in a way that not finishing after you've been in for 9 minutes repairs. It was finishing, keeping it clean. And only a certain amount of drivers actually did that. And that was probably the top 2 at some point didn't have an issue. You know, we've seen the likes of Buson's issue, Robinson's, Kyrgiakopoulos, Vieira. They all had issues. Yeah, even McCutchinson. So it just goes to show that the Nords is more about consistently keeping it on track rather than trying to go as fast as rapidly possible. So we are into qualifying, 8:30 up. We start bringing you up the sectors at the bottom of the screen so you can see who is doing what here. But we are on board with the Swede, Adam Isaacson, currently at the moment. So let's see once more here what goes on into qualifying and how he gets on.
Hard hit on the curb there on the first part of the Senna S, however, doesn't seem to hamper his run too much coming out of the corner. Now, one shot is all they had at the Nords line, but this one very much different, so you can risk it a bit more here, is what I would say. However, risking it is something that Jürgen Frank did, and the stewards have come out and told him off, said no more weaving like that, sir. You can move once, you can move twice, then you have to stay there. Like James said, moving a bit too much on the straight there, so I have been told off, and
yes,
rightly so, I think.
Yeah, I'm not really shocked by that one. You know, one move I fully understand, but 5? No. I think it was at least 5, if I'm not mistaken. Here as well, Lucas Vieira's got some purples on the board currently at the moment, the Brazilian. So, let's see how he gets on. I'm sure he's going to be looking for a bit of a better race than he had at Nords, of course. He goes round Junkau and up the hill into Sabino the boxes. The left-hander here. And then, believe it or not, there is actually called another corner name on the left-hand side just about now, and translates into what is known as the bleachers. So there we go. According to Wikipedia and Interlagos, definitely.
I mean, in the wet, we have seen drivers go off there. I can remember Kimi Räikkönen in 2016, when Max Verstappen had that monumental drive at the track. He went off at that corner. Lucas Vieira has come across the line. 26 thousandths of a second off of Buson, who himself is only 1 thousandth off Condelis.
Yeah, Johnny Hamby has gone and put it on pole position currently at the moment. So fair play to Johnny there. Gone and whacked it onto pole position. So for him, not a bad opening qualifying lap here as well. Don't forget these guys are incredibly quick. All of them has higher IR than me, but then again, ain't really tough.
Yeah, that's not really
You know what I
difficult,
mean?
is it?
No,
There's a reason we're up here and they're down on the track doing their thing.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only reason I'm not on track, is because I'm up here doing my thing. I probably wouldn't have qualified for the top 10 anyway, or top 15. I could be in both series and it wouldn't have made a blind bit of difference. It was, you know, it was a good old time when I was driving the SR8. I've got to, not going to lie, Isaacson puts it on pole, 128.802. Bertie's gone on and done a 128.47. Vieira, 128.354. So let's see what Frank's going to do. Is he going to get a lap in? He does. Third place currently, 128.69. So there we go. All the time swapping very quickly, and it is Vieira currently on pole position with Bertie, Frank, Isaacson, Buson, Hamby, Condelis down in 7th. That's not ideal for my pick of the race currently at the moment. McCutcheon has gone into 3rd, 128.495 has the Scotsman, and Condelis now is on lap 3. So let's see how he gets in of this 4-lap qualifying here before we go into the race again. Let us know who you think will win, who's going to take the overall, who's going to take the championship, who's going to win it all and come away as the overall champion, as we see 2 purples on the board from Team Bertie, as Condelis is not really improving currently at the moment. So let's see how Bertie gets on, is coming down into Junkau before he goes up the hill. Once more here at this iconic circuit, always inspired by Alonso's picture sat on the deck chair catching sun, if I'm not mistaken.
For sure. Bertie across the line, he needs it to get himself back into contention. Like I said, if he takes pole position, he's in a very strong position across the line. A 128.075. Vieira can't get there. Now it's the rest coming through. Men on the graph, Jacqueline, Condelis, Frank, Mellis, Bremer, Robertson, Solozano, and Hutchinson. What can they do?
Candelis goes over the line with a 1:28, puts himself up into 5th place. Bramer 1:28.94, Robinson 1:30, Solazano 1:29.427, as well as we're on board with Mike Buson. He is currently on a 1:28 there. Tim Bertie 1:28.08, Mike Buson 1:28.81. So a second gap practically all the way down into 10th place, which is Ewan Bramer down there as well. Bertie's got more purples going on the board as well, just for good health. Decided once isn't enough. I'm going to go again and get them more here. So Tim Bertie, more purples. Yeah. I think he's going to be probably a shoe-in for pole. I don't think people will be able to get yeah. But the problem with that is, as well for Tim Bertie, is he's obviously got to try and get off this car off the line and got to be able to stop the other cars as well. And with the likes of Frank and Kundelis and McHutchinson behind him, it's always going to be difficult. But Bertie is going to go over the line, hugs the left-hand side, 1:27.8, pops it in. Yeah, absolutely stunning. The first man into the 27s. Frank's got purples on the board as well. Jürgen Frank is coming over the line, hugs the left-hand side again, takes the shortest route. What is he going to put on as well? Goes in the second, another man in the 1:27.986s, and that is their laps done. What about John McHutchison? He's coming around to the final part of his race lap as well. Hug the left-hand side. Up you go, run it all the way up the wall. What about McHutchison currently at the moment? 1:28.5. Nope, stays where he is. Zuccarelli's got greens on the board. So Diego Zuccarelli flying along quite nicely, currently in 11th place. Murray, it goes into 10th, 1:28.853. Zuccarelli.
Promoted up into the top 7. Get it? No, he doesn't.
No.
I thought he was going to improve way more than he did, actually, there.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately for Zuccarelli, sat down in 11th place. 1:20 on the clock. Everybody has done their 4 laps. Nobody has got any laps left remaining, and now all practicing starts. As we can see, Jürgen Frank practicing his start there. So that's going to be an interesting one down the Red Raposta and down into the run into Interlagos. Who is going to get down here first? But it has got that tricky run into turn 1. So let's see how we get on for this 30-minute race. It will be starting very, very shortly. And it's going to be underway, and the lights out, and away we go here at Interlagos. 30 minutes of racing. And Frank still practicing starts there, Dan.
Mindset of a winner. Wants to do everything absolutely perfect. Now his closest rival Kundelis down in P5. Doesn't have to say anything. However, the fact that he is almost 7/10 off of Tim Bertie, who's only won 1 race. Remember that last race at Imola. That very important one where he clinched the title. Now, I have a feeling with how quick Tim Bertie is, he has a good chance here. Like I said, if he just wins the race, he is certain to be champion no matter what happens.
Well, he's on 29 points at the moment. He obviously went in on 28. He's just got pole. He's on 29. So here we go. We'll bring you up the grid for this race. Tim Bertie is in pole from Simrc Beethoven. Jürgen Frank, Simrc Beethoven 1-2. Lucas Vieira there in 3rd. John McHutchison from Radline. Arturas Kundelis in 5th. Isaacson 6th. Johnny Hamby 7th. Dennis Kiriakopoulos is in 8th. Ewan Bramer 9th. Mike Buson 10th. Diego Zuccarelli there, the first man to have that second gap. And Mateus Murray in 12th. Manuel Solazano in 13th, Diego Schneider 14th, Daniele Cascado 15th, Mino de Graaf in 16th, Mellis 17th, Jacqueline 18th, Gonzaga in 19th, Robinson 20th, Roggenbach 21st, Place 22nd, and Duckworth in 23rd. So Stephen Place did make it here as well. Kundelis 30, Frank 30, Bertie 29. Yep, that's what I've got as well, Sandro. Thank you so much for that. Wow, this track reminds you of something. I can probably guess what that was if I am completely honest. There as well. So I can relive that memory if you want, that involved me and another gentleman. And yeah, Didn't go down too well, did it? Really? But there we go. What more can we ask for as well?
Reminds me of one iconic quote on the channel here. Going down, start finish straight, an AM driver who won overall. With the first name of Mick and the second name of Barry. And if you haven't seen it yet in the intro, where have you been? However, time is almost up with gridding. It's almost time to go racing.
Yeah, Gonzaga will be the last man on track. He's on, the lights are on. 3, 4, 5. And it is underway here with Tim Birdie out in front. Jürgen Frank still in second place. Currently they're going to 3 wide. Frank's going to take the inside line over Birdie. Frank's got the inside line. There's been McHutchinson's had a crash. Unfortunately, he's locked up and locked the wheels. And unfortunately, he's now dropping all the way to the back of the order. And I've got a funny feeling that it would be it for John McHutchinson. But Frank, Birdie and Vieira currently out in front with Kundelis in 4th. Isaacson in 5th place at the moment. Frank did what he had to do. He took the start away from Birdie at the beginning. And now Frank is up into 1st.
Well, the only thing that he needs to do now, and it sounds very simple, but I can tell you one thing, it is definitely not, is keep Tim Bertie behind him. He cannot allow his teammate to go through. These two have been running 1-2 so many times. Arturius Gonzalez on the insides of Adam Isaacson. He needs to try and make his way forward as soon as possible to try and get up to the back of Jürgen Frank. Else, he's just going to run away. If you give him an inch, he's going to take a mile. He has another look, but just can't get past the sweet Adam Isaacson.
No, definitely not there, unfortunately, as well. McHutchinson's out, Gonzaga's out, and that's the way it is currently at the moment here as well. There was looking like Kiriakopoulos was going to try and make a move. He's got Buson battling away behind him as well. Buson's hugs that inside line. Buson's going to take that position, takes the shortest route, and it is Mike Buson up into 6th place here as well. Battles with Kundelis up front as well. He is tucked up currently with Isaacson behind him. Isaacson's going to look at the inside, going up into the centre S's. He's taking the inside line. Can he get the SR8 stopped? He can. Kundelis is trying to switch back, going around the outside now of the exit of the S's before they come on to the Aposta here, and down the Renault Aposta they go and down into Delago. It's Kundelis on the left. Isaacson now as they swap over on your screen. Isaacson on the left-hand side. They're going to be squeezing, they're going to be rubbing. Here becomes, and it is, Kundelis is going to get through here as well, opening up and going on to lap 2. Makes a mistake on the exit though, which allows Isaacson to come through on that run up into the Ferradura.
And it's still not done. The outsides for this corner is so tricky to run, and once again we're going to see that in. However, there's contact between the two. That is not what you want to see going down into turn 8. However, they both managed to get through safely, and it is finally for Kundelis that move done. However, you can see the time that they've lost, because here is Lucas Vieira. He is with the front two. He's on the back of Tim Bertie, not allowing those two Simmercy Beethoven SR8s to get away from him. However, we have seen these two, James, working together so many times. And it seems, for the moment, the only thing they want is a straight fight between the teammates for that victory. And they're going to try and achieve that together.
Yeah, they definitely are. It's going to be here. They're slowly dropping back Vieira. Currently, at the moment, the gap from the leader to Vieira is at 1.5. We'll bring you up the intervals very, very shortly here as well. Kundelis has got Isaacson, Kiriakopoulos, Buson, Bremer, Murray, Hamby, Zuccarelli, and Solorzano all behind him. Currently, you can see the train there, and Kundelis is at the front of it there in that green SR8 as Zuccarelli is trying to move out, make that pass past Hamby. Not this time around. Doesn't get him down into Delago. Is going to be trying to run him up the hill, but behind Zuccarelli is Solorzano, who's going to try and take him into the Ferradura. Is he going to be close enough? Not this time around. Round Lamanahara they go into SA once more, and it is still as they were currently at the moment. Bremer is on the trying to get onto the back here of Buson. Is Iwan Bremer. You can see him in the middle of the pack in the red, white, and black livery of PRT. So let's see how he gets on as well. But it is all very close. 4 attempts up the front at the moment, and Isaacson and Kundelis have got basically about 2 attempts between them currently at the moment.
Walking Wikipedia, CJ in chat live standings, Frank on 60 points, Bertie on 58, Condelis 57. Condelis ideally needs to try and gain this position on Vieira. However, he has Isaacson behind him, and Isaacson is not going to let him go. Frank with the fastest lap on the race, 128.365. Exactly the amount of days that we have in a year, but this day matters the most for them. Isaacson up the inside of Condelis. That would also give him the inside for the second part of the Sennes, and he gets through onto the Reto Posta now. However, not done yet. Condelis is going to have a look back up the inside.
Yeah, he definitely is going to try and stick his nose in. Not this time around. Through the Cida del Lago on the run up into Ferradura they go. Here we go once more. Condelis made that mistake in the Sennes. Unfortunately, that allowed Isaacson to get him on the exit. These guys battling away for fourth and fifth place currently, as they're just doing this. They're not gaining on Vieira, which is not ideal here as well. And obviously, from Condelis' point of view, he's got the Kyriakopoulos tucked up right behind him, and you can see the train of cars coming from that as well. But it is Frank, Bertie and Vieira out in front. Isaacson's, Condelis, Kyriakopoulos, Buson, Bremer, Murray and Harvey are your top 10 currently here at Interlagos with 24 minutes remaining on the clock.
For Adam Isaacson, it doesn't really matter that much. Of course, not the best race out at the Nordschleife at that already. Kind of put him out of the running with Bertie, Vieira and Frank up the order. He needs to hope that something drastically happens at the front. However, Condelis is going to have another look at the inside. He's going to push him into the Sennes. Yes, he is. Not going to have a look this time round. Condelis thinking about the bigger picture. 4 seconds is the gap to Vieira. However, that gap ever growing, sadly, for Condelis.
Yeah, they're just continually fighting, which is not helping. I don't know if the bigger picture is not like Nords. You can't wait. You haven't got the long dot on her straight at the end. You've got to be able to go for it now. You cannot sit there and wait. The front two have dropped Vieira by a second. Isaacson 4 seconds back from that as well. You're going to fight. You're going to jeopardize it. You're going to fight. It's not going to work. So Buson picking up with Kyriakopoulos here. He's used Kyriakopoulos to get on to these two of Condelis and also Isaacson. So once again, Buson not nestling in with Kyriakopoulos. He's trying to stay with him and move forward with him. Kyriakopoulos, we know, is quick. We know that from previous seasons here as well. He's got to be able to try and stay with it. They want to keep this pack together. For Buson, though, he cannot lose that position to Bremer. Bremer behind in the black, white and the red of the PRT. It's got to be done and dusted for Buson. He's got to stay with him. Dan, he cannot afford to lose any time.
Well, what you would do if you do fight, going back to that talk about Condelis and Isaacson, if you do fight, that's what I meant with the bigger picture, is that you're going to lose time. What Condelis is trying to do is kind of gain time together with Isaacson, but Isaacson at the moment not gaining any time on Vieira. That might change once they drop Vieira outside of that 1.5 second range, where you pick up that little bit of slipstream. So far, Vieira hanging on to it. However, Buson on the back of Kyriakopoulos has dropped back a bit. 5/10 is that gap. Bremer is looking lively here. He might well go for a move up the hill if he gets a good exit.
Yeah, he didn't get a good run out of Interlagos. He's not going to be close enough going up into the Ferradura. And unfortunately for Bremer, he looks like he's going to be stuck there again for the most part of this lap. It's just not going to be done and dusted. Condelis and Isaacson still trying to scrap away. All the while they're losing 4.7, 4.8 seconds at the moment as well. It is just loss of time, and no gains going forward. For these guys, though, it is all about their positioning currently at the moment here, and 1 over. Vieira has just managed to stay inside that second mark currently at the moment and is not being dropped off, which basically we thought it was kind of going to be.
He's done well to hang on to that, because the bigger that gap gets, the more difficult it'll get for him to hang on to it. However, he's managed that gap so well, and he's keeping it at a second at the moment. We'll try and gain Bertie with the quickest lap at 1:27.991. 3/10 at the minute behind Jürgen Frank, but will not attack till the last, I guess, 5 minutes of this race.
You say that as the time drops below a tenth between the two of them.
No,
So there we go. Place goes up the inside of Schneider.
I've seen this too many times. Gonzalez, it's going to go up the insides of Vieira, or Isaacson, excuse me, Vieira, not quite there. Now Kyriakopoulos is already on the back of Isaacson. Buson side by side with Bremer. This is the fight that we were looking at earlier on. Bremer on the outside, Buson on the inside. It is Buson who gets it in the end. And it looks like Bremer has to settle for 8th once again, but Morais with a decisive move.
No! Morais went up the inside of Buson, and unfortunately there, no room at the inn for Morais. And he does tag Buson, and Buson goes round. That drops Bremer down below Morais. Buson's down in 10th now behind Hamby. Not an ideal manoeuvre, I'm not going to lie there. We're going to have a look back at that one there to decide how that one went there. But it was Buson unfortunately being tapped down by Morais, and unfortunately for him, he's now down in the 10th place.
At the minute, the only thing I've got from Buson is not the one that we have at the moment. However, Jason Duckworth has had an incident. Here we go. He's going to spin on himself, isn't he? Yeah, he is.
On the curb. Oh, he's going to catch the grass.
Oh, no.
Lots of grass. And into the ball. There as well. Is an incident not Buson crashing?
I haven't got anything on my timing screen at the moment of a Buson crash. However, what I have got is probably the pass on Buson. So this is the one.
Okay.
Must be. No, this is going down on the turn 1. This is the thing that we switched away from. This is Buson getting back past him. This is the only thing I've got from. Oh, this is not it.
So, no, it runs in a little bit further on from that.
You can stay on board though, because we will see it. This is Bremer side by side. Gonna get it. Oh, this is way earlier on in the race.
Yeah, it's definitely not that one. Unfortunately there as well. So unfortunately we cannot see the Buson incident that led to him being dropped down the order. Stefan Mellis is having a nice little battle down in 17th place. The front two are still fighting. Isaacson in 5th and 6th currently at the moment. Isaacson still battling away here. As you see Vieira on your screen, you see the front leaders go underneath the bottom, and here comes that battle with Condelis and Isaacson behind them. We will pick up them going into Interlagos for Isaacson, and we can have a look what is going on. Isaacson did not make it through down into the sea of Interlagos before we go running up the hill into the Ferrador once more, but it's these guys now who are going to be fighting it out here currently at the moment, and unfortunately for him, he just cannot drop Isaacson to be able to go on to the back. The gap now is 6.3 to Vieira, who's dropped 1.7 back from Bertie. Now, a bit of inside information here as well. If Bertie makes it to P1 and Frank on P2, Bertie wins the whole thing. Equal on pole position, Bertie with one more victory. So from Bertie's point of view, he's just got to beat Frank, and he's going to be through. I don't know.
Yeah, that is what I said at the beginning. That's why I said Bertie, if he would put it on pole, he would be in such a strong position, because it didn't matter which of the two up front of him would be behind him, as long as he would have won, because Condelis has that victory but doesn't have a pole position, which Tim Bertie will get that victory if he does win here, because he needs to win. There's no other option for Tim Bertie if his rival finishes behind him. And Jürgen Frank hasn't won a race if Tim Bertie wins here, so then it'll immediately go to him. You don't even have to go to the pole positions, because of those, they would both have won.
Well, let's see if this actually happens here. They've got 16 minutes on the clock currently at the moment. I don't know if Bertie can do this, whether or not Frank's going to let him through or what the situation is. I doubt very much they will. Jacqueline is having a fight down there with Guy Robinson. They've just side by side currently coming down into Interlagos. And it's going to be, who is it going to be? It's going to be Guy Robinson back past Joel Jacklin once again. So it was Jacklin past Robinson, Robinson past Jacklin, and now Jacklin's trying to get up the inside, not currently at the moment, as they're going running up into SA before they drop down into Pinarino, the sharp left-hander, and then up into Bigo de Pado they go. It looks like Robinson's got a lot better run than Jacklin this time around, and is not going to be under threat, I don't think, unless Jacklin makes a mad dive, which would just be absolutely suicidal. This is Johnny Hamby. What have you been up to, dear sir?
Just running. In a good position. Oh no.
Been there. Sandro will vouch for me on that one. I've been in that position. Jason Duckworth has also had an incident that's just jumped straight back into the pits for Duckworth, and Hamby is now down into 12th. The leaders are literally, Duckworth's just going slow.
On that crash, I have a feeling it's just going to be him stopping on the track.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
All right, the leaders are close together as well, so it might boost on in the middle from the Team Madline boys. I don't know what we're going to be seeing in the situation here from my point of view. Obviously, we look at car position, we look at aggression, the way that the car's being moved, the way that it's being placed. But he doesn't look like he's doing any of that. Do you know what I mean? He just looks like he's kind of sat behind Frank at the moment, trying to stay with him. But, you know, we'll have to see how this one goes here and see how it works out. But I think it's going to be stationary as it is.
Yes, I mean, we've seen it so many times if you've watched the Europe regular season. It is, these two, especially in endurance races, work so well together. However, in the race, it's just Frank who has that little bit more of consistency. Just that half a tenth, 2/300ths of a second more consistent, and over a longer distance, that is going to show. However, with the slipstream, that's easily undone a bit deep from Tim Bertie. I thought for a second there, James, he was going to run into the back of his teammate. And that is one thing you do not want to have, because that would immediately promote Candelas up into the leading championship.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to have the rules of hitting your teammate. It's one of the biggest no-nos in racing ever. Literally ever. So you don't want to be doing that one here as well. You can see on the left-hand side, there's a couple of battles along with the Frank Birdie battle, Isaacson and Candelas, then Murray, Kyrgiakopoulos, and then further down, Zuccarelli, Schneider. Zuccarelli is in with Buson currently at the same time. So there's a nice little tidy battle going down there as well, as we are on board with Tim Bertie. Looks like he's got that car a lot more grip at this stage of the race than Bertie has at the moment, than Frank has. You saw Frank slide into what was going down into SA.
Now, Tim Bertie has been running a bit more wing on the back of that car throughout the whole season. So that car has been a bit more stable. Now, it is a bit more difficult to overtake. A bit of a slide from Frank on exit, and it's not going to give him the best exit he wants. Maybe now Bertie is going to pounce, because it looks like at the moment that gap is ever growing slowly but surely. So maybe now Bertie sees his chance and is going to go for it. I don't think he is. He's going to stick behind. And once again, is he not? No, he's going to go to the inside this time. The two teammates do switch position. Bertie had a Frank with the cutback that will give him the inside for the second part. Almost contact between the teammates. We've just pointed out you do not want contact with your teammate, but these two, for the first time this season, going at it instead of working together.
Yeah, Hamby has had a bit of an incident, so is Schneider there as well. Side by side round Interlagos they go. Frank still out in front. Bertie runs very, very, very wide, unfortunately for him, and loses half a second there as well. Kyrgiakopoulos is in 4th, Murray 5th, Isaacson 6th. Candelas has been off track as well. Candelas has been off at the same time, and he's lost a bunch of positions there as well over Kyrgiakopoulos and Murray. But unfortunately for Candelas, he's dropped below these guys now. And Murray trying to go around the outside, not going to make it work this time around. Into SA they go, down through Pinarino once more. Here with 11 minutes remaining. And unfortunately, these guys have been battling away. They've lost a chunk of time to the guys up front. It's now 8.8 seconds to Lucas Vieira. Currently at the moment, Guy Robinson battling away here with Mellis down in 14th and 15th. Robinson's just got up the inside as he runs wide. Mellis does as well, and that's not going to be ideal. And he's going to lose another position to Jacqueline. So Stefan Mellis there lost 2 positions.
Crash together with Matteo Moraes. That has dropped them completely down the order. Short to interrupt, but this is Kyriakopoulos together with Matthias, who's crashed. I have a feeling one went after the other.
Yeah, we'll have a look back here as well. Murray, twice.
Ouch.
Murray Kyriakopoulos there as well. Unfortunately, Isaacson still battling away up the front in 4th place currently. Guy Robinson still battling away as Stefan Mellis has gone back past him. So these guys, Candelis once more with Isaacson back into the positions that they were originally before Candelis made a mistake and dropped him down the order. So fortunately for Candelis, he's now sitting in 5th place, Dan.
For Candelis, I have to say, I think you can forget that championship. However, you still want to keep pushing, because if there is a mistake up front, you want to be there. Isaacson with some huge bodywork damage on that car, that is going to affect his aerodynamics. I have a feeling that is going to slow him down on the straights too, so Candelis might have a go at him here.
Yeah, he's going to try and have a go off and round the final corner on this long looping left-handed straight. It's not really a straight, I think, unless you get to about here when it straightens up a little bit. Coming down into the center S's, here we go. Is Candelis going to make the move on the inside? No, not this time around. It's now 1.1 seconds from Frank to Bertie. I think Frank may have wrapped this up.
A bit too early to say that. Tim Bertie has got some pace, however, has just gone off track again at the same point where it happened last time around. That is going into turn 4. So I have a feeling, James, that Tim Bertie's got some pace in hand, but it's a bit too late to use that now with the gap at 1.2.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think it's going to be difficult for him to try and close it. 1.3 places spot coming up to the back of Solorzano. So pick up on Stephen Place, 2 temps back currently at the moment. Robinson and Mellis is still in the mix here. There is Place. Can't really be any closer than he is now. So let's see how he gets on.
Be alongside though.
Yeah, I think the problem is through this twisty bit, it's always quite tough unless there's a mistake that you can really make a difference on. It's always tough. You know, you've got to be looking at trying to get out Juncal cleanly to try and make that move up through turn 1. Candelis has cleared Juncal cleanly and has now got Isaacson. Isaacson's going to run him against the wall. Candelis has got to wait for him to come across the track. Is he going to make the move on the inside again? No, he's not.
Candelis has been chasing down Isaacson for this whole race, but it's not going to be enough, James. Once again, for Arturas Candelis, it stops in race number 2. He's tried everything. I have a feeling that it's either going to be Tim Bertie winning this one or Jürgen Frank. You can see Tim Bertie has closed that gap down to about 1.1 again, and it's the middle sector where Frank is really quick. Going to that straight without any slipstream now for Bertie. Can't really make up that deficit that he loses for running a bit higher wing, so it's everywhere where he's losing except that middle sector. With that wing, a bit quicker through the corners.
Yeah, but he just can't close the gap down as well. A bit of information on George Gonzaga. His headset, his VR headset keeps failing, so he didn't take the start due to not wanting to ruin anyone else's race. So that is why Gonzaga did not take the start. As these guys, gaps now out at 1.3. You got 2 temps back from Candelis and Isaacson, 2 temps placed in Solorzano, 4 temps Robinson and Mellis, and Roggebuck down in 18th. He's got 6 temps with Cascado. So here is the Candelis and Isaacson battle. They're going to cross the line down into turn 1. Not this time, and they're going to be as they were through the center S's once more, and then coming out round onto the Red Raposta straight. And it is as it is, Dan.
1.5 now at the front of the field. Like you said earlier on, Frank might have this wrapped up. And it was my first guess, but with how strong Tim Bertie was looking, especially in qualifying, almost 2 tenths ahead of Jürgen Frank, pulled that one out of the bag when he needed it. I think was saving that wild card up for the whole season to use it here in the finals. Such a good qualifying lap, 2 tenths ahead of the field almost. Can't prove it in race pace.
No, and as I say, qualifying is one thing, race pace is another one. So gaps out at 1.7, Frank and Bertie now. So I think pretty much Frank has probably got this wrapped up. I'd be very surprised if he makes any incidents, any issues. If he didn't make an issue on Nords, and that's a very difficult circuit, I can't see him making one here at Interlagos, which is a bit more, I want to say easier, but it has its own challenges, don't get me wrong. But from Frank's point of view, the gap isn't closing, Bertie's just not making any inroads. He's lost another 3 tenths that time around. So, yeah, it's going to be difficult for Bertie now.
At the Nordschleife, Tim Bertie was just doing what Tim Bertie was doing best, and that's being consistent, not making any mistakes, making sure you're there. However, Daly still has hope, I think, that they're going to catch back up to Vieira. That's not going to be the case. Bertie, if it stays like this, is going to be ahead of the Delis in the championship, and it is going to be once again a Simmercy Beethoven 1-2 for the first time this season.
No, but when you're as strong as what they are,
yeah,
you've only got, for everybody else's depiction, they've just basically got to try and get stronger. You know Buson's just passed Bremer very quickly. So Mike Buson has cleared Bremer. Bremer's got past Buson again, and these guys battling it out side by side coming up into SA they go. So they have had a battle. Bremer past Bremer, Buson past Bremer, Bremer past Buson, and once more they're still going at it.
You know what they say, James, in racing, you're only as strong as your weakest link, and they be a weak link in that team. Tim Bertie has thrown in the towel, and has now Lucas Vieira all over the back of him. And he might lose that second position in the championship and in the race, because the Brazilian on home soil is all over him now. 7 tenths back, closest he's been so far this race.
Yeah, I've got a funny feeling Bertie made a mistake. He must have made a mistake to lose that amount of time already. Unfortunately, there isn't registering up that he has, but he must have locked up or done something with that car, because he's not going to lose 2 seconds without a problem. So there you go. It must be now Vieira's. You can see Bertie, but it's always the same thing. Catching is one thing, passing is another.
Yeah, and so far Vieira still has to catch, because he can't pass from 7 tenths back. Well, he can try. It's usually going to end in disaster. Now a little bit further back, Buson, Johan Bremer, and Delis on the back of Isaacson. No one of these drivers able to get past.
Oh, I think that there Isaacson may have made it. He was trying to, Candelis had the inside. He was trying to go around the outside of Pinarino. That would have been an interesting one to see how that one worked out. It currently didn't work out for them. But here with Buson trying to get onto the back of Bremer and get past Bremer. Robinson and Mellis have swapped positions a couple of times as well. In fact, they've swapped positions no fewer than 5 times over the last lap here. Robinson and Mellis down in 15th and 14th place respectively. Oh, there we go. Buson is through. It looks like Bremer's got a slowdown, I would have thought. And that's why he's slow, and he's now down into 8th place for Johan Bremer. So unfortunately for him, not a good ending to his race. We're going to be coming round now. We're going to have this one and one more, and then that is it. Zuccarelli, Buson and Bremer. Zuccarelli trying to go up the inside of Bremer through the S's there as well. Bremer gives him room. Buson manages to hold on, from Zuccarelli. Buson goes all the way to the left. He's defending hard. It's going to be, is Bremer going to be looking at sending it 3 wide? He's not. Is Zuccarelli going to try and run around the outside? He is. Is he going to make it through Delago? They're still running side by side. Bremer's now side by side with Zuccarelli. Zuccarelli's on the inside in the black and red. Buson's there as well. It's all getting very close between these 3. here with this one and one more to go, and it is as they were. Buson, Zuccarelli and Bremer. No change there.
There's nothing standing out to you on the left-hand side in the timing tower. We're missing someone. Missing is this man, Adam Isaacson. What has happened to you, sir? What has he done? He's
Curbing around, yeah.
Oh no, he actually keeps it, but he just parks it.
Oh.
Got Daniele Cascado also, who's had something. Oh no, this is probably a spin on the entry of the corner again, yes. Not the first one to do that. You've been there, James, haven't you?
I have it, that Pacific corner. Spun it up. So there we go. Zuccarelli and Buson, final lap of the race for the leaders now. And Frank is out in front from Bertie for three seconds currently at the moment. So let's see how this one pans out across this lap, Dan. It's going to be very, very close with these guys.
For sure. Zuccarelli is going to try and make his way past, or he's going to try and defend from the two behind, who are going to try and make their way past Buson up the front. And then it's Zuccarelli and even Bremer behind that. Zuccarelli in the middle. He's going to try and make his way up the insides of Buson. Buson not allowing that. But Jürgen Frank at the front has done everything he needed to do, James. And there's only one man who you can rightly say is the champion for this season, and it's going to be Jürgen Frank.
Yeah, Frank comes across the line. He takes the line. He's done a great job. Captures the checkered flag, wins it overall. Bertie in second place. Vieira comes across the line in third place there as well. And then we've got Bremer and Zuccarelli still battling away as they're coming up, down now, up through the hill. Bremer and Zuccarelli. Let's see how that one pans out, please. Here we go. It is going to be Buson in front with Zuccarelli, with Bremer there as well. Bertie second with 58, yeah. So there we go. 58 points for Bertie, Frank on 60, Bertie on 58, and I've got, well, Candelis is now in fourth. So he goes up on to 57. So it was all very, very close there. Guy Robinson and Graf. Menno de Graaf coming across the line. Stefan Mellis, unfortunately, looked like he had an incident and lost places. So there you go. There guys come over the line with Mellis, Cascado, Roggenbach. Then we've lost Isaacson, Murray, Hamby, Duckworth, McHutchinson, and of course Gonzaga with his technical issues. So let's see how it goes here. And we are going to be waiting for the final results to come up on your screen.
Nothing.
Click up one more. That's the, I believe that may have been the team overalls you went trying to. There we go. Jürgen Frank is your winner from Tim Bertie. Lucas Vieira in second. Arturas Candelis in fourth. Mike Buson fifth. Diego Zuccarelli sixth. Yeah, Lucas Vieira did get third. Sorry, I missed him out. Sorry, Lucas. Zuccarelli in sixth. Ewan Bremer seventh. Kiro Koblis eighth. Steve Place in ninth. There, Manuel Solazano 10th, Diego Schneider in 11th, Joel Jacklin 12th, Guy Robinson 13th, Mino de Graaf 14th, Stefan Mellis 15th, Daniele Cascado 16th, Alexander Roggenbach 17th, and Adam Isaacson does finish, but he finishes down in 18th place. Murray in 19th, Hamby, Duckworth, Hutchinson, and Gonzaga all did not finish this race. So there we go. Done and dusted here for another season of the Radical Sim Racing. Well, it's been an epic season so far, Dan, and not a bad final event either.
Not at all. I thoroughly enjoyed this season. I'm looking forward to the next SR8 and, of course, the return of the SR10. So yeah, like I said, looking forward to that one, and excited to get it on the way again. Can't wait for round number 1.
Yeah, definitely there as well. It's going to be an absolutely incredible season of racing. It does kick off again on the 25th of June. That is the provisional date for the SR10 Championship as well. And there is the SR8 Championship will kick off on the 26th of June. So the 25th and 26th of June there as well. So it's going to be an interesting one. And let's have a chat with your champion, Jürgen Frank. 60 points on the board. Victory overall. Jürgen, welcome in. How are you, sir?
Thanks. Hey guys, yeah, I'm exhausted. I had to push everything I have for that race.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting one. Now let's run through the races first. You know, Nords, well, everybody knows Nords. Was it all about trying to survive in Nords, do you think? Because, you know, Candelis was there, wasn't he, at the end of the day, battling away? You must have had an idea that he was going to come down the dotting hoe on you on the last lap.
Yeah, so it was not about surviving at the Nordschleife, it was about pure pace. Because Arturas and me had the pace, and I had a few corners where I could build a little gap, like just before the Döttinger Höhe. I mostly could go up to 0.7 seconds, but yeah, that was not enough. Yeah, then I tried to weave on the straight, like in the Indy 500 2 weeks ago, or when it was last week.
You
And,
naughty boy there. I did see the message.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't do. Yeah, I had two possibilities: try this, or I park it and let him go in the front. But I thought this is a bit better for the sportsmanship.
Yeah, definitely. Then we go on to Interlagos, battling away with Tim Bertie there as well. Did you feel that at any point you was going to be in danger of losing the lead?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, he was crazy fast, especially in quali. I had a good start, and in the race, yeah, kind of had an agreement we don't attack in the beginning, so we can try to build a gap, and we did it. And additionally, I think I gained a little bit of pace in the first 10 laps before we started battling, so then I was well prepared. Yeah, he then made the move into the Senna S. He dived in quite much, so he had, he basically missed the line for the next one, so I could go to the left again, and then we touched each other, so it was quite intense. And then for the next corner after the straight, I had the inside line, he was outside, and yeah, there I went a little bit too far to the right side, so that was the revenge. And just right after that, and yeah, then I pushed all the way I could. I'm completely sweaty now. I'm really done now, but I'm happy.
Yeah, I bet you are there, sir. Well done on your season victory in the finals. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, especially to Tim Bertie for the nice fight in the last race, and to the other teammates, Adam Isaksson today, and the whole team, and especially to you guys for the commentating and the organizers.
No worries, bud. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Are we going to see you on track next season?
Yeah, I think just like this season, I will pop in occasionally when I have time. So I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome stuff. Well, Jürgen, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on your championship victory.
Thanks. See you guys.
See you. Right, we are going to bring Arturas Candelis into the booth now. Arturas, how are you, sir?
I'm very well, thanks. Very well.
Awesome stuff. Winning Nords, just couldn't quite do it here at Interlagos. You did finish third overall in these two races. So it is a podium, I suppose, on that side of things, a bit of a plus. But tough pill to swallow, was it?
No, not really. That's my natural speed. That's roughly where I was the entire season. Nordschleife is the only track where I'm actually good at. So that race was the race I was looking forward to all season, and yeah, I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah, definitely. Well, third place is not a bad end to the season at all. Are we likely to see you back on track next season?
Yeah, if we're racing SR8, yeah, definitely I'm there.
Wow. Well, Taurus, I think, are you going to be working on your aspirations to go and take the championship win next season?
Depends on the calendar, but most likely yes.
Awesome stuff. Well, anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go, bud?
To all the guys behind the series, Sandro, you guys making it happen, making it a great season for all of us. It was a lot of fun, and to all the people watching and supporting. So thanks everyone. Yeah, see you next season.
Stuff. Well, Taurus, take care, buddy, and we look forward to seeing you on track next season.
Cheers. Bye bye.
Take care. Well, there you go, Dan. They both sound very upbeat there. I've got to be honest, Jurgen Frank sounds absolutely knackered. He's probably going to go and have a lie down about now. But overall, not a bad ending, not a bad race to finish off with Interlagos. To say, I love this circuit. And going forward, could see Jurgen Frank and Arturus Candelis going battle in side by side once again next season.
For sure, no, looking forward to it. It has been an entertaining season from start to finish. And I think if you look at the wins, a man deserving of this championship. Let's be honest, if you got to these finals, you would have been a deserving champion. No, absolutely an amazing season, and looking forward to the next one. Also looking forward to the return of the SR10.
Yeah, well, hopefully as well. We are waiting for official news on the update. I believe there is one coming for the SR10 at the end of this season, so that will always be good, and I'm sure that will probably please quite a lot of people after this season's, well, issues with the SR10, should we say, after it got a update that caused it to be, in some drivers' words, completely undrivable. So we're hoping that there is an update for it at the end of this season. There's apparently supposed to be. So let's see. You never know. Once more here as well. But for guys, that rounds out another season of the Radical Sim Racing here live on the JBB YouTube channel. So thank you very much. Oh, bless you, says that. Oh, okay. Oh, Dan just had a good old sneeze in the ear roll. There we go. But thank you so much to everybody that joined us in chat. CJ, welcome and thank you again for joining us as you have done for pretty much most of the season there as well. Callum Island jumping in. Mr. Capella, of course, congratulations. Well done. An epic season. Looking forward to the next one. Ben Underdown, Mike Bousson, of course. Mike there, unfortunately, in Nords, lasted about a corner and a half. A little bit longer here at Interlagos and finished in 5th place. But for now, guys, from myself and Mr. Daan Pepels up in the booth, you all take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track next season. Good night.